everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be going through some summer book recommendations and also my summer TBR for this summer. I tried to do different books that I didn't recommend last year, but it's really hard because some of these are my all-time favorite books, so I want to include them. So there may be some repeats if you watched that video from last year, but I'm going through the books that are just give off summer vibes and also they're just really good. And then I also have some new releases and books that have been on my TBR for a while that I feel like would be perfect for the summertime. So I think first we're going to start with the book recommendations. So I'm going to start with series first and then we'll go into standalones. There's a good mixture of series and standalones, but most of these are interconnected standalones, so you can read one and not finish the rest, and although they're considered a series, you don't need to read one after the other. You can skip one or only read one, it doesn't matter. So the first one is the Rebel Blue Ranch series by Lila Sage. So this is the first one. This is my personal favorite, which I feel like it's not a lot of people's favorites from the series, but I love this one. I've actually read this twice. The second time I went through and tabbed it because I just love to do that with my favorite books. But this one, it is Brother's best friend, and she ends up moving home to her small town. Her dad and her brothers worked on their family farm, and she ends up moving back home because something with her career happened. And he, the main male character, ends up helping her get her passion back for her career, which is riding horses. And then the second one is Swift and Saddled. This one is kind of like workplace romance. So she's an interior designer and she is going to help him with this new project that he wants to kind of claim as his own. And this one I did really enjoy. It wasn't my favorite from the series, but I still, regardless, recommend all of these books in her, like in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. The third one is Lost and Lassoed. This one's very, very similar to Heartless by Elsie Silver. He is a single dad and he ends up kind of having too much on his plate. He's working all the time and he wants to make sure his daughter is taken like the best care of. So his sister ends up recommending Teddy to help because she lost her job. So yeah, if you really enjoyed Heartless like I did, I would recommend this one if you're kind of looking for something with the same kind of storyline vibes. And then the last one is Wild and Wrangled. This one is Second Chance, and he ends up moving back home to work on Rebel Blue Ranch. And there's forced proximity. They live in like the same, not the same house, but she ends up renting this house and then he lives in like the backyard in like a guest house area because he takes care of the house for this older lady that owns it. So yeah, that whole series is definitely really good. Another series that I was a huge fan of is the Dreamland Billionaires series by Lauren Asher. I feel like this one, if you're a fan of Disney and if you've been to Disney World or Disneyland, which I have not sadly, I feel like you would like this because he is going to be the new CEO, I believe, of Dreamland, which is very similar to like Disneyland. But the grandpa has made different things that each son has to do before they get the certain job or inheritance or anything. So each book is from one of the brothers' stories. This one was my favorite. This one was still really good. This one, he has to be married in order to get the CEO job or something. So yeah, if you like Marriage of Convenience, this one would be your cup of tea. And then this one, Final Offer, this one's Second Chance, so it's a childhood best friend. He has to spend the summer at their lake house, like their old family lake house, before selling it. And his childhood best friend, the girl that he broke her heart years ago, she lives there with her daughter. And these I all tabbed, so you can tell I really did enjoy them when I was reading them. And then we have two series left. This is the Part of Your World series by Abby Jimenez. So this is the first one, second, and then the third one. This one's my favorite. All of them really are really good, as you can tell from the tabbing. I need to go back and reread them because I don't know if it's just me or if it's you guys, but I forget stuff from books. Even if I really enjoyed it, I can't remember for the life of me what happened. I know this one, she is like a city girl, she's a doctor, and then she goes to like this small town and meets Daniel. But I just feel like Abby's books are good for any time of the year, but especially the summer. They're just very cozy and warm, and although there are some more emotional and deep topics, if I could recommend one of Abby's series, I would recommend this one 100%. I have not finished her first series. I read the Friend Zone, but I have not finished the rest of that interconnected standalone series. And then this is her newest release, Say You'll Remember Me. This one is the start of a new series, and this one, each one will take place with the main character being Xavier's friends, I think. But he's a veterinarian, which just that alone would get me to read it because I love animals, and I love that part because they take place, the beginning, they meet at his vet office, and that whole part is really funny. And now we're gonna get into standalones. People We Meet on Vacation. This one I reread like last month or 2 months ago. They're best friends, they met in college, and something happens where they don't talk for 2 years. They've been on 10 summer trips, like that was like their summer tradition. So she reaches out to him after 2 years and asks if he would like to go on this last trip. And that's when we kind of see like what happened in the past, like why they're not speaking. And I really, really enjoyed it. When I first read it, like 4 years ago, when I first started reading again, I ended up not enjoying it that much. So I'm glad I went back and reread it because I feel like everyone's book taste changes. So I was really interested in seeing if I would enjoy it because I love all of her books now, and I did. It's not my favorite book by her, but I really enjoy it. This is my favorite book by her, which is Book Lovers. This one, I just love books about people who love books. And this one has, if you have a sister, this is a really good story about two sisters that they're trying to figure out, you know, they want to be really close, and there's some things that happen that kind of try to tear them apart, but their relationship is so strong that nothing can break them. And I have two sisters, so I really love that part because I would do anything for my sisters. So she is a literary agent and he is an editor. So then she agrees to go to this little town in North Carolina with her sister. And then Charlie ends up being there. They're not a huge fan of each other because they have met in the past and they didn't have such a good interaction, and they're both in this small town, so they run into each other a lot. I just love Charlie. He's like my favorite main male character that she's written. So this one, if you're gonna pick any of them, pick this one because it's really good. And then Happy Place. This one is more like towards friendships. The main male character and the main female character have been together since college, and they were kind of like labeled as the perfect couple. But they broke up and did not tell their friends, and they have to go to a cottage in Maine and share it with all their friends and kind of pretend that they are together still. And all of Emily Henry's settings of her books are very summery. Like, they're usually small town and on the East Coast, and I love that because I want to live on the East Coast. We have Beach Read. This one I feel like is her most popular. Like, this is the one that most people recommend, and it is really good. I have to go back and reread this one as well. But this one, they are two writers. She's a romance author and he is a writer of literary fiction, and they are both kind of in like a writing slump. So they end up having this pact where whoever can switch genres, I think it's whoever can write and finish a book, wins or something. And they end up going to like different places, and she helps him with romance and he helps her with literary fiction. and I remember really enjoying this book. So I need to go back and read it because I just know so many people love this, and there's people that read this multiple times a year. And then, funny story, this is her release from last year. I also need to go back and reread this because when I read it, it wasn't my favorite. I don't know what I didn't enjoy about it. I don't know if it was the main characters or the storyline. I can't really remember exactly. Her ex-fiance finds out that he is actually in love with his best friend Petra, and then Daphne is kind of stranded in this town in Michigan, and she doesn't have friends or family, so she ends up moving in with Petra's ex, Miles. I mean, they're both kind of going through the same thing. Like, their exes left them for their exes. It's kind of confusing, but they both are going through the same thing, and they end up forming this friendship to get through this summer and this tough time. So they're kind of pretending that they're together. Yeah, see, I told you I forget stuff when I read it. And then her newest release, Great Big Beautiful Life, they both, the main male character and the main female character, both want to write this famous celebrity that disappeared years ago. They want to write her story. So they're kind of competing for that. So we get the storyline present day, and then we also see the celebrities past. So it's very Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo coded. And if you were a fan of that, which I love that book when I read it, I think you would really enjoy this one because they are similar, but just with Emily Henry's touch. And the setting in this one is really good too. It's like a small town. We get side characters, and they go to little restaurants, little cafes, and I love that. A book that has been popular for a while that I recently just read, Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, and then the companion novel came out this past May. People say it's very similar to Love in Other Words, which I can kind of see that, but I don't think it's too similar to the point where it's like copying or like getting inspiration from one another. I don't see that. The main female character, her parents end up buying a summer house in Barry's Bay, and the neighbors are Sam and Charlie. We see like their childhood and their relationship, and it's second chance. So she comes back, she ends up moving away, and then she comes back for a funeral, and they run into each other, and we see them figure out like what happened in their past. And I'm not usually a huge fan of childhood friends second chance romance, but I really like this one, and I'm excited to read One Golden Summer. And then I have both of Jessica Joyce's books, You with a View and The Ex-Vows. This one is my favorite of her books. This is one of my all-time favorite romances that I've read. It's two former high school enemies must reunite for a road trip inspired by their grandparents' broken engagement in this electric debut romance. And we still get Theo's grandpa, because he ends up going with them on this road trip that he had with Noelle's grandma, if that makes sense. And I love that part. And then The Ex-Vows. It says, estranged exes must stick close together to save their best friend's wedding after a string of disasters in the swoony and steamy second chance romance. So yeah, this one they have to pretend that they're still dating because they don't want to ruin their best friend's wedding. I feel like I want to reread both of these as well, because when I read this one, I was a little bit disappointed for some reason. I don't know if I was like comparing it with my high expectations that I had with You with a View, but I really want to reread this one. And then A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. This one takes place in a small town. She ends up driving up to this book club retreat by herself, and she gets stranded because her car breaks down, and she ends up in the small town of Elorton. And it seems really familiar because it's the town from her favorite romance series. So she sees all the characters that she's read about and all the things that happen take place in this book series. And then there's a character she doesn't recognize from the story, from the series. And he is a grumpy bookstore owner. So yeah, I love this one. I recommend all of Ashley Poston's books though. those are the books that I'm recommending for summertime. Now I'm going to get into my summer TBR. I have Ashley Poston's new book, which is Sounds Like Love. This one, I haven't heard anything about it yet because it came out not that long ago, but I know I personally will love it because she just can't write a bad book. I love her book so much. And this one, I couldn't tell you what it's about because I want to go into it blindly. I don't like to have any expectations or kind of anything that could possibly be a spoiler because I want to just enjoy the book while I'm reading it. And then another new release, The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This one, I don't know if it's very summery or anything. It says, it's a gothic mist-cloaked tale of a young prophetess who is forced on an impossible quest with the one knight whose future she cannot see. Yeah, her books are more dark, gothic. She's the author of One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, which those two books have been on my TBR for months and months and months. So I don't know if I want to read those books before I read this one. They're not connected or anything, so I know I don't have to read those two, but I just know that they're so well liked, so I want to read those two. And then another newish release is The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, the same author of the Magnolia Parks universe. This one I think is in the same world as Magnolia Parks, but it's Sam Penny and Georgia Carter, and it's still like the rich people family drama, and that's about all that I know about it because, again, I don't want to spoil anything. And I know we see the main female character in Magnolia Parks at some point. I don't know, I haven't seen her yet, so must be in one of the later books. So then I have a few books that have been on my TBR for a long time. Mrs. Nash's Ashes by Sarah Adler. This one I've seen compared to Beach Read by Emily Henry. It says, two love stories decades apart, one chance to prove love is worth the ride. I've heard, yeah, if you love Beach Read, you'll love this one. So it has been on my TBR for a while, and it just seems perfect for the summertime. And then I have The Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. I pretty much want to read all of her books because they are very summery and all take place during the summer. This one, it says, this summer they'll keep their promise. This summer they won't give in to temptation. The summer will be different. This one I know was not as popular as Every Summer After, but this one came out, this is her book from last year, I think. I don't know, but I want to go through and read all of her books. And then I also want to read One Golden Summer too, the one that is the companion novel to Every Summer After. It's Charlie, the main male character's brother's story. And then I have the Addicted series by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This one has been on my TBR for a very, very long time, but it's just such a long series and I don't know if I want to have that commitment, but I just know it's so popular for a reason and I haven't seen anything bad about it, so I need to give it a chance and just go for it and read it. If you've read it, please convince me to pick this up. And then Binding 13, the Boys of Tommen series by Chloe Walsh. This one is a young adult. I know they're very emotional and like traumatic stories or something. It says, he wants to save her, she wants to hide. She's damaged, he's determined. Fate brought them together, love binds them. So I think they're in college and he's like a rugby player or something. So yeah, I want to start this series. They're all on Kindle Unlimited. I don't know if the newest one is, but I know that the rest of them are, so that makes it a little bit better. And then I have Heartstopper, this entire series so far. This is kind of unique because it's more like comics almost. Like, I don't know, are there any words besides in the comics? I don't think so. And there is a Netflix show for this series. And again, this is just so well loved and so popular that I feel like I just have to read it because there's a reason why it's so popular and there's a reason why there's a TV show for the series. And then I have a couple books from Fairy Loot. The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I read this a while ago, 3-ish years ago, and I really did enjoy it. It takes place in Spain, and she kind of needs a date for her sister's wedding because she doesn't want her family to worry about her that she's single, and then her ex-boyfriend and his new fiance will be there, so she kind of needs to act like she's in a relationship. Aaron Blackford, she works with him and they are not fans of each other, but he says he will go and be her date. And it's just been so long that since I've read it, so I want to read it again, and I feel like the summertime is perfect because it's a wedding, it takes place in Spain. I feel like wedding books are perfect in spring and summer, but maybe that's just me. And then I have a book from Fairy Loot's young adult book subscription. This is The Floating World by Axie O. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. I don't know really what this is about. I just feel like the cover looks very summery, but I don't know. It looks very warm and springy and summery. I think this came out in April or May or something, but I know she's a well-loved author, so I want to try and read that. And then I have some books from Afterlight. So I have The Breakup Pact by Emma Lord. This one just looks like spring, summer. 2 viral breakups, 1 fake relationship, 5 sparkling heart-pounding dates. There's like a beach and a pier or something. My camera died, so if the angle changed, I apologize. So it looks like they both experienced public breakups. And then there's a photo that they have together that kind of convinces people that they're dating. They decide to kind of make a pact that they're going to be pretending to date. So they kind of go on different dates and have photos taken of them to kind of put on this facade that they're together. And it looks like they were best friends in the past. So it looks like second chance perhaps. But I love this cover. It's very cute. I love Afterlight's covers. And then I have A First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. This is part of a series. I think it's like Heartstrings or something is the series name. So it looks like he's the host of a romance hotline and he's fallen out of love, and then a young girl calls into his station asking for dating advice for her mom. I have heard such good things about this. She's the author of Lovelight, that whole series, and I want to read this one because the second one that's coming out in, is it January? Around that, looks really good too. And yeah, it's gonna be a whole series, which I'm really excited for. And I think they all kind of fall along a line of a popular like romance movie, I think. Don't quote me on that part, but I'm pretty sure it does. And then I have Under Lock and Key by Lena Ferguson. This one's a paranormal romance. I think he's like the Loch Ness Monster. So she ends up going to Scotland after her father dies. It says, soon it becomes clear that they both might be the key to uncovering their secrets. Up against time, mystery, and a centuries-old curse, they'll quickly discover that magic might not be only in fairy tales and that love can be a real Loch mess. After reading Bride by Ali Hazelwood, I've become a huge paranormal romance fan. So this one's really intriguing when I saw that he is like the Loch Ness Monster. And I feel like it's going to be really interesting that it takes place in Scotland. So I don't know if it's summery, but we're going to try it. And then this is the newest book I got from Afterlight, Flirting Lessons by Jasmine Guillory. I know she's a very well-loved, very popular author. And I don't know why this one just screams spring and summer to me. Main female character is newly single. And she wants to kind of learn how to date and talk to multiple people. Like, she's never done that, but she doesn't have any experience. So she asks the other main female character, Taylor, to help her because she is like a well-known heartbreaker. And so Taylor gives her different dating advice or whatever. It says, and as their mutual attraction becomes impossible to ignore, both women must decide if acting on these feelings could ruin the best thing they've ever had or if it could make it even better. So this one I think came out in April. So I think it seems like a spring summer book. I don't know if it really takes place on like that type of setting. Those are all of my recommendations and my summer TBR. I hope you guys enjoy this video and get some ideas for what to read this summer. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!